Industry and competitive conditions change because forces are enticing or pressuring certain industry participants to alter their actions in important ways. The most powerful of these change agents are called driving forces because they have the biggest influences in reshaping the industry landscape and altering competitive conditions. Driving forces are the major underlying causes of change in industry and competitive conditions. Driving forces analysis is a way of understanding and accounting for change. Driving forces analysis has 3 steps. First, identifying what the driving forces are, then assessing whether the drivers of change are individually or collectively acting to make the industry more or less attractive, and finally, determining what strategy changes are needed to prepare for the impact of the driving forces. Many developments can affect an industry powerfully enough to qualify as driving forces. While many forces of change may be at work in a given industry, no more than 3 or 4 are likely to be true driving forces, powerful enough to qualify as the major deterrents of why and how an industry is changing. Thus, company strategies must resist the temptation to label every change they see as a driving force. The second step in driving forces analysis is to determine whether the prevailing driving forces are acting to make the industry environment more or less attractive. Getting a handle on the collective impact of the driving forces usually requires looking at the likely effects of each force separately, because the driving forces may not all be pushing change in the same direction. The third step of driving forces analysis, where the real payoff for strategy making comes, is for managers to draw some conclusions about what strategy adjustments will be needed to deal with the impact of the driving forces. So driving forces analysis is not something to take lightly. It has practical value in its basic task of thinking strategically about where the industry is headed and how to prepare for the changes ahead. The real payoff of driving forces analysis is to help managers understand what strategy changes are needed and to prepare for the impacts of the driving forces.